Sound check, 1, 2.
This is the 217 Recovery Podcast with Corey Winfield.
And he knows as soon as he gives it to her, he's gonna give her his heart to her too.
And we'll have kids and get married. That's too far.
Holy shit.
It is the 16th of July, 2022. My name is Corey Winfield.
And I'm Kasey Chappell.
Yes, it's not Marnie Winfield. It's Kasey Chappell. Kasey?
Yeah.
I've heard you talked about on this podcast before.
I'm infamous in the circles I run, and I'm coming to you with the Recovery Closet podcast.
There was the intro I put together for you.
Yes.
You and Sleepy Dave. What was the guy's name?
That Pretty Ricky.
Pretty boy.
But,
he
went on a sabbatical and has yet to return or write a letter or call.
I love you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
he answers me back on Facebook about 4 weeks later, and he's like, "Oh yeah, bro, sorry, I'm busy."
Right.
Oh, that sounds familiar. Hey, Kasey, you were going to start this podcast a month ago, and then I felt bad because I told you I'd get you an intro, and then I never did, and then I did actually get you an intro about a month ago.
You did.
And
I know,
still
and
waiting on the debut.
I feel horrible. The debut is going to be premiering any night now.
Okay.
I excuses, but I work a lot. I chair several meetings a week. I'm wrapped up in recovery.
That's
good,
but
the podcast is a huge part of the recovery.
Well, not right now.
Pushing that off.
But
so.
I think once you start it, though, and I'm busting your balls, but once you start it,
it'll be so easy.
But you'll start to feel like, oh my God, like that was good, because I started this podcast 3 years ago, in some months, but it was just to do that, to keep me sober,
right?
And I started with a couple guys that I lived with in sober living, and it really helped me get shit off my chest.
Yeah,
and in early recovery, we could like make fun of the guys in the house. We never made fun of Brett though, but I could say like, man, and not really make fun of him, be like, man, like, dude left his freaking taco shells out, and it made me really pissed off. And would talk with Rob about it, and Rob would be like, well, that's not really your job.
I know, and this cryptocurrency keeps crashing on him.
Yeah. I hate that. No, but it really does. It helps you get things off your chest, and I think once you start it, you'll realize that this is another tool that you can add to your recovery tank, as my wife calls it.
Absolutely, and I call it my ammo belt. The ammunition to shoot down the urge and desire for alcohol that I don't want. I don't want that in my life anymore, and so I'm through with that, and that's why recovery is such a huge part of my life. And with my podcast, we're really going to discuss the stigma there is with being in recovery, hence the name Recovery Closet, because a lot of people stay in the closet about their recovery. Understandably, there's a stigma out there in society against people in recovery, but we need to bring awareness to the masses that just because we're in recovery doesn't mean that we're homeless dirtbags. You know, we're hardworking, college-educated people, and
some of us are great.
Right.
Some of us are. It's just like normal life, everyday people. Like some people are good people, some people aren't. It's just how it goes. But
as time progresses, more and more people have a substance abuse problem, due to medical or anything.
And some people will jump on you for saying that even.
Right.
Substance abuse. We had that conversation the other day. We were doing outreach. You do the outreach stuff with me. And you're talking about abuse. I'm like, they say, or no, it was misuse. No, I think you said abuse. I was like,
disorder, misuse, abuse.
I've never abused alcohol. I poured it right down my throat.
Right.
But they'll say, and it depends how you look at it. And if that makes you feel better to call it substance use disorder, call it that, And if you, like for my instance, alcoholic, when I go to a meeting, I say, hi, I'm Corey, I'm in recovery. And they all look at me like, oh, that dude, he's a junkie, snort whatever off people's butts and stuff. I mean, I don't know what they think when I say I'm in recovery, but I really don't care. Because it makes me feel better about myself that I'm not beating myself up. But
absolutely. And, same goes for myself when I go to meetings or anywhere. I introduce myself, I'm Kasey. I'm a grateful recovering drug-abusing alcoholic.
Oh, you can't say that because you're never recovered till you recover.
Again, whatever makes you feel good. If it makes you feel good to go, hi, I'm Kasey. I'm an alcoholic. Say it. You know,
Exactly.
hi, I'm Kasey. I'm a junkie.
Yeah.
Say it. If that's really what makes you feel good. But personally, myself, saying, hi, I'm Corey. I'm a person in recovery, it changes the game. It moves me to where I'm at now instead of where I was 3, 5, 6 years ago, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, you know, change the game up a little bit for yourself. No, the reason why we're sounding much different than we would in my studio is because we're not in the studio.
We're sitting on the beach.
At the beach.
We are at the beach at a volleyball tournament.
Yes.
This is just epic. I mean, this is what recovery is all about. Sitting on the beach, doing a podcast, watching a volleyball tournament, about to participate in a volleyball tournament, and smash these guys.
Wow.
Yeah, we're going to throw it down like Maverick and Goose
Yeah,
did.
we'll take a
Gun.
picture and we'll post some pictures. By the time you hear this, we've already
Absolutely.
left the beach. But
Yeah.
because we're obviously not live, but I'll post pictures and you'll see what I'm talking about on our social stuff. But it's a beautiful day here in Michigan. It's about 80 degrees.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So the people listening down south, you know, they're like, it's 100 out today. It's hot. I'm sorry.
Yeah. You know,
Right.
I came out here from Phoenix, Arizona, so this is a big difference.
Yeah.
A welcomed difference from 115 degrees.
Yeah, and it gets warm, but
Yeah.
and that's the beautiful thing I love about Michigan is, you know, the weather's up and down. Like today it'll be like this. Tomorrow it could be 95 and 100% humidity, and then the next day it could be 72 and sunny again. You know, like
Yeah.
in the winter it's a little different. But actually the last few years haven't been too bad.
No, and I'm a winter person being from the Colorado Rockies originally. I love the snow. I love winter sports, and we have all of that here. And being in Traverse City on the bay, it's like living on the ocean, but yet we have no salt and no sharks. It's all fresh water, baby.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Beautiful thing. So
Paradise.
that's why we sound like we do today. It looks like these guys are getting ready to start another game. Now, you haven't actually played a game yet here today.
Not today yet.
But how's it going? Is it like because they pick teams.
Yeah.
Who's on your team?
The good ones, the winners.
Well, you have a team. You don't know who's on your team?
Not yet. No,
He just looked at me like, I don't know who's on your team.
We're getting drawn for teams here, and I'm not sure who my team is. But, you know, my team is winners because we're going to win.
Okay, well, they just flipped a coin. I've never seen
Yeah.
this before. Well, he dropped it twice now.
Yeah, I think he lost it in the sand.
He flipped a coin. He's flipping a coin. What's he flipping a coin for? To see who gets the ball first?
It's the coin toss.
I thought you volley for serve.
Yeah, you do.
For serve.
Yeah,
Just
the-
yell to them.
you-
You flip coins?
You know, like football. It's like football. They're doing the coin toss.
Well, I'm so confused because we would always volley, and then whoever won the volley would get the serve. It
That's-
doesn't happen out here in Traverse City?
Traditionally, that's what you would do in volleyball. I mean, I did play competitively back in
Well,
the day.
that guy's injured, it looks like.
Yeah,
Or he runs like he's injured. The guy with the khaki pants on.
right. Yeah,
Or maybe
they'll
they're
figure it
kicking
out.
up dust.
Yeah.
Is that a strategy? Is that going to be part of your strategy? is kick
Well,
up dust?
I think their strategy is to blind out the crowd here so they can't see.
Yeah, because I was saying all they were doing was kicking it around to themselves. Like,
Yeah.
if you could have seen what we just witnessed, there's 3 of the 4 members on this volleyball team, and they were going around just shuffling their feet to like kick up all this dust.
to get
in
better grip
sand.
on the ball.
Is maybe, but it was all just blowing around in their faces. The
Yeah.
wind is they're downwind too, so I mean, the strategy was weird.
Well, that's
So
the
there's
best.
2 things as I'm watching that I'm having a real hard time with.
And that's why we're in recovery, because we don't do things that always make sense.
Oh, this is great. There's ducks out there. There looks like the ducks are
Yeah.
coming onto the beach.
They're hungry.
Oh,
They want-
they're running now.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is my dream to be doing play-by-play of volleyball, sober
Right.
recovery volleyball.
Absolutely.
And the treatment center, Addiction Treatment Services here in Traverse City, actually is having the guys out here. And you know, if you're looking for a good place to go to treatment, I'm saying,
Yeah.
it's a
Addiction
good
Treatment
place to check out.
Services is godsend to the recovery community.
yeah, I like them a lot.
They save lives.
And I've never went there. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
That
you're
was one of
missing
that
out.
that didn't hit my list of.
See, I've gone through there, and I went to rehabilitation at Kasey Hall, which is here in Traverse City, and they saved my life. And I had some of the best therapists and counselors that I worked with, and helped me dig up the deep, dark bones of my past and address all that, which helped me in my sobriety.
We almost got hit by a Frisbee.
Yeah.
So, so your time in here, I want to go take it back further, sort of, and bring it to the present, because I'm just stalling for time.
Absolutely.
Apparently, because that made no sense whatsoever. But to these guys today, like some places you go to treatment and you're in treatment. Like I've been in places that were like hospitals, and you were just locked in, you were locked down, you weren't leaving, you couldn't even go outside to smoke. I mean, it was. Well, that was a couple of those, and then the mental hospital like that too. But like here, like these guys are bonding. Like this is the fun in recovery. Like that's one of my things. And I was talking with a buddy about it yesterday, and he's like, man, we should start our own 217 recovery meetings. And I could write up some rules. They'd be real short ones, like 1, have fun in recovery, 2, be honest or something.
Yeah.
Like I was like blah blah blah. But that is one of the things that people have a hard time figuring out is, okay, what do I do? What do I like? How do I have fun? There's one gentleman out here. I met him 4th of July. There was a cookout. You're always involved, like you said, in recovery stuff.
I was grilling.
Yeah, and I came out to give you your 217 shirt that I told you I would give you because you want to cut the sleeves off.
It was awesome.
Get the guns out,
Yep.
Sun's out, guns out, baby.
That's right. Bring it to the gun show.
So I brought that for you, and I met this gentleman there, and then I ran into him at a meeting, and then I see him out here today, and it's just like, okay, he must have he heard about this event going on and thought, yeah, I'm going to go have some fun in recovery, and volleyball on Saturday, it sounds good to me,
Yeah, we've been really pushing this event throughout meetings around town here. Traverse City has a huge recovery community, and literally over 100 meetings weekly here in recovery. And we have people from all over the place attending today's barbecue. We got a barbecue volleyball tournament. It's just really fun on the beach.
It's not really a barbecue.
I just had hamburgers and hot dogs made on the
Yeah,
grill.
Brisket?
Grilled.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you said you had barbecue.
They were grilled on a barbecue.
They were grilled on a grill.
That's the difference between Corey and I. When you cook on a barbecue, you're barbecuing. But it's
not a barbecue.
Grilling.
You don't grill on a barbecue. You barbecue on a barbecue. And usually it takes about 12 hours. Talking to a man who lived in Texas, homie.
You smoke stuff on a smoker all day long.
No.
When you're barbecuing, you throw it over some hot coals and
so that's that grill I just pointed to. You're calling that a barbecue?
No, well, that is a propane barbecue that you would purchase at a store.
Okay.
And then those right there, built into the ground, are barbecues provided at the facility here that we're at the beach.
No, those are grills too.
Whatever.
Okay, so how old were you when you moved out of Colorado? I'm trying to figure out what state to blame this on.
Well, see, I was born and raised in Colorado,
okay, so
but
Colorado.
I left Colorado when I was 19 years old after college. I went to Phoenix, Arizona.
Okay.
And Arizona's just
not a lot of
confused.
barbecuing going on in Phoenix, Arizona. There might be a couple places in Phoenix.
We grilled almost every night in Phoenix. 115 degrees or not.
You barbecued in Phoenix every night?
On the barbecue we grilled.
No, it's impossible. It just doesn't happen, man.
We did a lot of good cooking.
Mm-hmm. People are walking by us right now on the beach. They're looking at us like, what in the F are these people doing? Well, that guy's not looking at us like that. I don't know what he's looking at, but we're not going to talk
birds.
about that.
He's looking at the birds.
But the recovery podcast that we're on today, we're just showing what we do, to kind of get out and to have fun, and that's kind of the point of this podcast. So if you're listening, going, man, I want to figure out how to stay sober today, Corey. Well, listen to what I'm saying. Go out and have some fun.
Yeah, there is so much you can do sober in life that is fun. I mean, you forget about how fun life is when you're mixed up in the middle of drugs and alcohol and your addiction. I've had to relearn, retrain my brain, and now I'm doing things that I've always loved, and I'm doing it sober, and it's amazing. And, we've got events coming up, kayaking, camping, chess, all kinds of stuff. Sober.
One of the things I want to talk to you about, too, is you had mentioned this to me in conversations about in Arizona when you were like, man, I have a problem. I should probably look into something. And you said the difference between Michigan, and it's different, I would assume, in every single state. But the difference, you said, in Michigan and in like Arizona is night and day.
Yeah.
It was so much easier for you to get help here, and you were kind of surprised by that.
Absolutely. In Arizona, I've been looking for help, knowing I've had a problem for well over a decade. But coming out here, I don't know. The state of Michigan has so much support through state funding as far as getting into recovery and helping with insurance and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. And some people hear, whoa, state funding, what do you mean? No, it's there for every state.
It is there for every state, yes, but some states take it more serious than others. And that's a whole nother discussion that I don't care to get into, is politics of BS, But the state of Michigan really saved my ass.
Yeah, that was my point too. Like, it's for someone who might be listening in West Virginia or Colorado or Arizona,
Right.
And they're like, man, how can these people just get into treatment? And if you have a job and you have insurance, a lot of people are afraid to go to their boss and say, hey, I need this time off, which you don't really need to talk to them with all that much info. It is nice to go to your boss and say, look, I have a problem. I need to go away.
Right.
And yes, my job will be here.
Yeah.
They can tell you no, it won't. And in Michigan, they can fire you for wearing a purple shirt. So good luck with that. And they will, sometimes. And that's the beauty of your podcast, Recovery Closet, is because you're going to talk about some of those issues that people have, or
absolutely
those worries and concerns. So again, but that's what HIPAA's there for, and that's what your HR department's for. Those people you can talk to, and they'll give you the FMLA form so you can fill out everything you need to. So don't think, well, they're going to miss me. No, trust me. You might be the only one that does that job or whatever, but
right.
Trust me, you're going to do it for yourself, and you're going to do that job so much better. And, if they backdoor you and end up firing you anyway, fine. You don't want to work for those people anyway. Like, who wouldn't want you at your 100% best at your job?
Absolutely. And in my experience and several others that I know in recovery, we find, being sober, it changes your life, and it doesn't matter what you do. We find amazing jobs. We find a whole new amazing life, and we're sober, which is the best part about it.
You can make your own job.
You absolutely.
Just start a company, make it a nonprofit, start doing podcasts, take people to treatment.
Yeah,
Just make your own job, man.
Yeah, 6 months ago, I never thought I'd be doing a podcast talking about recovery and going out and doing outreach every week and helping people to get to where I am now, because I was in their shoes, and now what really excites me and gives me a passion for life is helping to bring others sobriety, because I know how tough it was, when I was in the middle of drinking and boozing it up, I didn't have a positive feeling in life at all, and I just thought, this is it, this is all it's going to be, and any serious alcoholic knows it's depressing, and you wake up every morning thinking about killing yourself because life sucks, waiting for the liquor store to open, and then do it all over again.
I used to hate it when they were open 5 minutes late. Like, man, it's 7:05. What the F, man?
Yeah.
I'd be so mad, but
yeah.
So 6 months ago, if I would have met you and said, hey, buddy, in 6 months, we're going to be watching dudes on the beach.
I would have
talking about recovery on a podcast.
Yeah, I would have been like, that sounds great and all, but I'm going to be drunk while we're doing it. If you don't mind.
Nah, bro, you're gonna be sober.
Yeah, that would.
You're gonna be helping me, like, talk to people at the homeless shelter and stuff.
Right. I'd have been like, have fun doing that. I'll be at the liquor store.
And I'll be like, but I'm telling you, like, this is gonna be happening.
I know.
Yeah, it's hard to believe.
I could not fathom that, and it's something that I've thought about and dreamed about for years, and I've gone through my bouts of sobriety, and even as far as when I was in Arizona, over 12 years ago, I was sober, and I was actually the CEO of Arizona Second Chance, which was a faith-based prison ministry, and bringing people out of prison and giving them a new life and jobs and housing, etc., and preaching sobriety and all of that. And it really was an awesome thing. And then, of course, you get complacent, which is my favorite word in recovery, complacency. A lot of people don't like that word, but it's true. That's why people don't like it, because it's a good word. It's a true word. When you get complacent, that means you get comfortable in your recovery. And hey, I don't have to go to a meeting tonight. I can relax. I don't need to go to a meeting every night. I don't have to do this. You get comfortable in things, and then all of a sudden you start falling to the wayside, and next thing you know, you got a bottle in your hand.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't take long.
Yep.
Just realized, I don't know if you can hear the music in the background, but I just realized, because I was in charge of the music here, and I wasn't playing, and then I heard, like, Take It Easy by the Eagles.
Yes.
And I was like, man, like, I should probably change some. Now I got it cranking.
Yeah.
Alt J breeze blocks I put on. I think I turned the extra bass on. But it seems really loud now. People are looking at me like, what are these people doing? Anyway.
People are looking at us like, what are they doing? And people listening to us are like, I can't hear you. The music's too loud.
Yeah, and I'm like telling you, put the microphone to your lips, bro.
I'm trying, you
yeah,
know.
It's easier to hear.
I'm enjoying the beach and sitting out here in beautiful weather, and man, it's just awesome. This is what it's all about, being sober and enjoying the beach, enjoying the weather, some volleyball, some barbecue, grilling,
some hot
meat,
dogs,
whatever.
Yeah, hot dogs and hamburgers,
whatever.
So when the podcast Recovery Closet starts tomorrow or tonight,
right?
What are you going to talk about? Like, what's your first topic? Because I know you've thought about it for like 2 months now.
Yeah.
Because again, you thought you had a co-host, and now that's changed. So
yeah,
you're just gonna have guests on or whoever.
Right. Yeah, I've got a lot of people that want to come and be a guest on there, and basically just like we're doing now, we're going to be talking about recovery and the happiness in it, and the new life that we find in recovery, and the awesomeness in it. But we're also going to be discussing why we shouldn't be ashamed to be in recovery or say we're in recovery. Just smashing that stigma that's out there against us.
It's going to be hard, I think, for you too. I mean, it's just weird for anybody really, when you're in a room by yourself talking into a microphone.
Especially for me, because I have ADHD, so I'm like, hey, squirrel.
It's tough, man. It really is to kind of have that conversation with yourself, but it gets easier with time. And you went to broadcasting school.
I did.
College, whatever.
Collage.
So you have a little bit of, I would say, advantage to somebody who's just going to be like, well, let me start a podcast. At the same time, I think it's a disadvantage because it has to be perfect. It has to be good.
Yeah.
Is it going to be good enough? I don't know. You have that second guessing where your normal guy who's like, I'm going to buy a microphone, do a podcast. He's going to turn it on, and it's going to be damn good no matter what. But where you're like, well, I got some standards, right? I can't do this, can't do that. Don't want to sound stupid.
Right.
Don't want to sound like a jerk.
I want to sound professional, like I know what I'm doing, and it's all about having everything perfect in the right atmosphere, the right setting, and everything. And this is a prime example. We're sitting on the beach, literally. Our toes are in the sand.
Well, there's a guy that I know, who who you might want axe. Be like, hey, buddy, is this something maybe not a permanent thing at first, but that's how you get them. You
right.
First be like, just be a guest co-host.
Right.
And next thing you know, their name's in the open. That's what I did with Marnie.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, your name, it's your podcast too,
Yeah.
Like, you got to be in here tonight to do it, She's like,
Right.
And she's so damn busy, but I appreciate when Marnie does appear and when she's on the podcast. And people love her too, and she brings a totally different side of the podcast of what I bring to it. And and that's good. It's a good balance. But there's a guy that I know, he's actually standing to my left right now wearing a green Michigan State shirt that maybe I might want to ask him, because he said, hey, are you getting ready to do a podcast? And I said, yes. I was like, you want to do one with me? He said, yes. I said, cool. And then my computer locked up. So I'm like, let me reset this. And then 20 minutes later, I was like, you ready? And he's like, I kind of changed my mind. I'm nervous. I'm afraid. He was thinking, I thought he was talking. I thought he heard me. But no, because he just said, no, yeah, I got out of it, yeah. But yeah, so he was interested until like it started getting into his head a little bit. But I think he's somebody you could grab. But like, look, man, if it sucks, we can redo it. And it's not going to suck.
I agree.
Have him listen to this podcast. Like, look, bro.
Yeah, we can
listen
do
to that
this.
one, homie.
I know, and I'm going to have him listen to it, and I think he would find that this would be awesome and beneficial to him in his recovery as well, and hopefully understand that, he's got to change shirts. Michigan State, go blue.
But he's a web guy, too.
Yeah, he's very good web guy. I know.
I told him, I was like, man, I'm going to have
a
place in town that does stuff like that. Like,
absolutely.
give out grants, give us one, because I know they gave another one money to hire a web guy. And I'm like, well, I'll hire you, dude. But, yeah, that would be a good person, I think, to have on board. And, one thing for Marnie that was real hard is she was like, yeah, I used to, it would freak me out because I would be talking. Or she said it was actually more before we would actually start the podcast, but she would start freaking herself out thinking, like, oh, my God, the people that are listening, there's tons of people listening, like, oh, my God, oh, my God. And then Brett just saved us.
Good job, Brett.
He didn't
Thanks.
hear us. Okay, well, we can say all
He's
kinds of
chatting
stuff
away.
about him. But she said, though, it would freak her out, when she would start thinking about that, and then she would get on the podcast, and then it would just be kind of like us, like, oh, well, we're not talking. Well, we are talking to the people. We're talking. Sorry, I'm just making sure now I'm freaking out about the volleyball hitting the stuff. But
yeah, we have a studio set up out here.
We're just kicking it, and talking to each other into a microphone. And you don't really worry about, who's listening. And I just kind of look like, okay, yeah, kind of my radio days. Like, okay, I know they're, I'm talking to a person, but that's fine. And I appreciate them listening. And hopefully they do get something out of it. But for me, it was just getting another day sober. And that's how I did it with the podcast. So I think that might help this guy.
I agree.
And I explained to him, too, I had to throw myself into recovery. Literally, like, create a position, create a company. I had to do that, and I've been sober ever since. So if that's what it takes, if I said, hey, Kasey, in order for you to stay sober the rest of your life, you're going to have to start a company, turn it into a nonprofit, and help people the rest of your life.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds fun, actually.
It does.
And I can do what I be my own boss and stuff.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
I dig that. And, and as you've seen, that's what I'm doing, and a lot of my buddies here in recovery that are here today, and they see everything that I do and how involved I am in recovery and the recovery community, and people are like, "Wow, you're doing it, man." I said, "You can too." I mean, like I said, I chair 2 or 3 meetings a week, and I'm everywhere. I get out there, put the feelers out. The more you're seen and known, to me, that's what helps keep me sober and building my little empire, so to speak, of recovery.
Oh yeah, I just told you about that website that we're going to switch, because right now we use Spreaker, and I'm just not happy with the stuff that we're getting. We're paying it's crazy amount that we pay a year to have this Spreaker, and I've been trying to get you on it, and I was like, hey, 217 Recovery will sponsor you, man. We'll take care of your first year. And I asked them, hey, give me a promo code, like I've been with you guys for 3 years, paid you guys a ton of money, like, give me a promo code so I can help this guy, since you don't offer anything for nonprofits. And they're like, and then they have a 50% sale going on, and they never even email me that. Instead, they email me a 20%. Oh, use Corey 2022 and save 25% or something. I'm like, what? Well, RSS.com, if you're interested in starting a podcast, look at them. And they have a thing where you can switch. Like, if you have a podcast right now, you can switch to them, and you get 6 months free.
Right.
And then on top of that, they do offer discounts for nonprofits, like 45% off. So I'm like, hell yeah. So I'm going to switch to them over this weekend. But yeah, you have to have a podcast for a month. It has to be around for a month, and you have to have at least 1 episode. Recovery Closet, right? 1 episode, and you can switch and take advantage of that.
And with Recovery Closet, I plan on doing nights that you're not doing 217 Recovery. So we have a weekly show about recovery,
so we can share back and forth our listeners.
Absolutely.
So my mom will listen to yours when I'm not on. That's the only listener I think I know of.
I've got
a lot of, but still,
I've got several that are going to be listening in Arizona, Colorado, and I've got my man in California who's dying to hear my first episode, and he's a recovery coach out there in Cali.
Nice.
And he's our age, and he actually told me happy birthday on Wednesday, because he said welcome to the 44 Club.
Yeah.
Yeah, 44. That's what's up.
It's a good age.
So, Cedric, when you hear this, it's a shout out to you, brother. So, yeah, recovery is well and alive, and it's everywhere, and we're going worldwide. We're going in the universe and bringing awareness to everyone.
Yeah.
That, you know what, recovery's the new way of life, and it's for everybody.
And there's another show we're going to start up, too.
Yes.
I would say probably before 2023 or early 2023, we're going to do another show, too, and it's going to be amazing, but we don't want to talk too much about that just yet.
Just yet, yeah.
But
it will happen, up and coming. It's going to be exciting. You'll hear more about it in the future.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be good. But, yeah, a little cross-promotion between us is good, I think, and if people are looking for something else, I don't know. I listen to some, and some are okay. The Recovery Podcast, and it depends what you're looking for, and depends what you want personally, and
right.
And if this is the type of podcast you want, that's cool. Yours is probably going to be a lot different. I mean, you're a different person. It's can't be the same podcast. But that's cool. It gives other people another, I guess, not opportunity, but another avenue.
Right. And with my podcast, it's. I want it to be fun. I want it to be something good to listen to. I want to have interaction, whether you email, call in, whatever, and we chat. And, recovery is supposed to be something fun. It's not like sitting in an AA or NA meeting, reading out of a book and blah, blah, blah. Not downing meetings. I go to them nightly, but sometimes we got to have fun. We got to have a break from the monotony. And show that recovery, being sober, is pretty freaking awesome. And we can have a lot of fun.
We can.
We can joke around. We can do all kinds of stuff. And we can learn. And we learn from each other.
Yeah, we do.
You know?
Well, we'll wrap this up. But before I go, I just want to mention that we need hot pink shirts. Because I see Adam out there.
Yeah.
He's on Team Sand in Your Face. But that wasn't the team. That's a whole other game going on right now than earlier when I was talking about that. But
yeah,
he's out there in a hot pink shirt, and he's got a cool hat on. I'm thinking, man, that'd be cool if he was wearing 217 stuff.
Right. They say real men wear pink. I don't own a pink shirt, but,
If it was cool, we put a cool design on the front.
Right.
You'd rock that. That
yeah.
looks like breast cancer awareness.
It is. Yeah, okay. That's total
That's
breast
coming
cancer.
up in October.
Oh,
well,
yeah. For all you ladies, we applaud you.
Yeah, be aware. Thanks for listening, though, and Kasey,
Absolutely.
Your Recovery Closet's coming soon.
Yes, Recovery Closet any night now. We're going to premiere our first episode, and it's going to be awesome.
Cool. We'll send the link.
For show.
Thanks for listening to the 217 Recovery Podcast. Win a bunch of free shit from 217 Recovery. Go to the app or the website, 217recovery.com.